Hello again, bitches who listen to my podcast. I don't even know who you are, but I hear that I'm huge in Bahrain, so shout out to Bahrain and other Middle Eastern countries who listen. I am here with my fabulous guest, Diana Prince. Diana.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's
Hi,
my
Bahrain.
pleasure. Yes, hello, Bahrain. So, Diana and I know each other from many adventures, but mostly from our awesome podcast where we cover AEW wrestling because we fucking love wrestling. But this is the Sexuality and Fetish podcast, a little bit different. Now, Diana, my first question. You told me very recently, like 5 minutes ago, that you were involved with China's first porno. Can you tell me things about that?
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't tell me who I was working with. They just made me sign like an NDA saying whoever this is, like it's top secret, whatever. I walked in, it was fucking China. I was like, are you kidding me? I like freaked out. I was fangirling so hard. I was scared to even talk to her. But I had to because like I know how to like eat her pussy in like
Yes!
an hour. So I'm like, hi, I dressed up as you as Halloween. Like I love you so much. And she was just super kind and appreciated that. And she opened up so quickly. She was freaking herself. She was really scared to be on set.
Aww.
She was insecure about her body. So like I let her know like I've gone through the same shit. And I basically there's some stills you can see of us. Like I'm holding her hand, just like getting her through it. Like she was just so kind and so sweet. And we became friends after that. I took her shopping for slutwear and stuff. And
Yes!
she was very excited to be part of the adult industry. She was very, very sweet, and I miss her. But she was great to work with for sure.
That's incredible. And I always loved China. I had a picture of her on my wall, and my parents thought I was gay. And I was like, no, I want to be this woman. And now that I know you ate her pussy for an hour, like, fuck yeah, I want to
No,
be
in an
China.
hour. Although maybe it was for an hour too. I'm not sure. We had to do a couple of takes.
You had to pack your lunch and stay for the day. That's what
It
I'm hearing.
was a long shoot day. I'll say that.
So, in the 6 degrees of sexual separation, if someone eats your pussy, they're also eating China's pussy.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. Like, I'm taking notes. Um, I want to ask, what is the weirdest fetish that you have engaged with? Maybe someone asked you to, or maybe you heard about it and you were like, I should try that. But, like, what's the weirdest one?
Hmm. I'm so like open and like I don't even know what's weird. You know what I mean? I literally I wouldn't even know what to say because like sometimes I'll just be talking to people and they'll look at me like shocked. I'm like, oh, is that weird?
Well, I
But
mean,
I would say the one that took me the like a minute to get used to is like people's like poop fetish.
oh, yeah.
People are really really specific about that. Like they want it to taste a certain way. Like you have to eat
Mm-hmm.
certain things. You have to have it come out a certain way. Like it's
A
very
texture.
yes, it's very specific and they love it. The people that are so into it. And it took me a minute to like, okay. But now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're into, that's fine.
That's another thing that has been censored heavily on pornography sites. You cannot use the word scat or poop anymore.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about pornography and censorship on my podcast, and so I think it's called brown fetish. There's some other like pee is now golden nectar,
Oh
and
my
brown
God.
is something else. But poop people, do your thing as long as you are consensual and hurting no one. I don't care. Eat that E. coli pie.
Exactly. Whatever you like. They would not let us talk about it on Shutter. That was the first thing that came up when I was like fetishes. I was like, ooh, poop fetish. And they're like, absolutely not.
I'm
Move on.
not surprised because that is a requirement of Visa MasterCard. And who processes Shutter
Wow.
subscriptions?
That's
Visa MasterCard.
insane. You are so fucking right. That's crazy, man.
I know a lot about this industry because not only have I been in it for a while, I see the political ramifications. I've worked with the Electronic Frontier Foundation regarding freedom of speech on the internet. All of these things are closing in. Payment processors are the gatekeepers of the things we're allowed to think and say. And it's getting a little tight. And one of the reasons podcasts are still really cool is because it's one of the few places you can still say stuff like this. Unfortunately, it's one of the few places where you can still say really terrible white supremacist stuff. But, the founding fathers would
Freedom of
say
speech. freedom of speech.
Exactly, is that what's the point of protecting speech if you're not protecting offensive speech? But because Visa MasterCard is not the government can offload their responsibility to these private corporations.
That's amazing and true and sad.
Yeah, also blood. Horror movies. You can show someone's head literally exploding in a movie. Thank you, Sam Raimi. But you cannot talk about or show menstrual blood in pornography. Menstrual blood is a
What?
natural thing that occurs. It
I never
happens.
thought about
Sometimes it
that.
happens during sex and you don't know it's going to happen because your period is not actually a magical thing on a calendar that happens the same time, the same day, every day, all the time. And so, yeah, it's this completely natural function that has been censored.
Wow. That is like mind blowing. I never thought about it, but it's true. It's fucking true. That's crazy.
Yes, I remember the first boy that was like, I want to eat your pussy. And I was like, I'm on my period. And they were like, I am so into that. And I was like, okay, all right, well, shit then. And
Go
so,
for it.
yeah, the fact that you can't even discuss Red Wings in pornography is very odd. We're starting to get to a world where these things can only be presented in different kinds of art. And so it's really interesting to know that Shudder is also dealing with those payment processor issues.
There's that. They do their own like versions of censorship too, because like we'll be able to show all the nudity, all the violence or whatever in movies, but I can't even appear on screen in pasties. Like
Not even in
it's for not
pasties?
even in pasties. It's forbidden. If you go back and watch the Silent Night, Deadly Night, we reenacted the Linnea Quigley reindeer hanging, and they wanted me
Yes.
to wear a full shirt for that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I tried everything. I have like different size pasties. Like, how can I do this not in a fucking shirt? And we ended up making like a reindeer head scarf, and it's the stupidest looking thing, but it's all because like we just showed her get impaled in antlers while topless, and I can't do the same thing because nipples bad. I don't know.
That's really interesting and a really interesting point that you can show this movie that has this content, but then you cannot make that same content. And like, do we have to make a film now to make pornography and run it through all the art circuits? Is it like France in the 20s where everything has to be, oh, loosely, it is an art film and that is why we show vaginas in it? Like, is that, have we
I feel like
reverted
we might be
back?
getting there for sure.
Okay. All right. So we need to make a
Dangerously
movie.
close.
Yeah, we need to make a movie with your nipples and my poop. Yeah.
That's going to be a hot art film.
Yes, we will call it Le Refuse de France. It'll be perfect.
I mean, as long as it's black and white, it's totally art.
Yes, that's a really good point. Yes, black and white, cinematic even. But what a
Taking
ridiculous
script
world.
notes right now.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Okay, how do we get Joe Bob involved in our sexy porno art film? He's nice and old. We could sneak him in. He wouldn't know what was happening.
I mean, if we pay him $1.95, he'll be there. It's fine.
Yes, a buck 95 to get Joe Bob in my French sex art film. You heard it here first, podcasters. It probably won't happen, but I'm going to pretend. Okay. Yeah, everything that happens on this podcast is alleged, meaning I cannot be held legally responsible for anything I say. Let's see. Do we have any other tea that we can spill? I know there's some tea that must never be spilled, but other tea?
I don't know. Sometimes
No.
I forget what's allowed to be spilled and what isn't. So it's not good for me to
Ooh.
start it.
Yes, that's why when you come over, I feed you all the tequila and then you give me all the tea. And then the
That
next day you're
is
like,
true.
Harley, what did we do? And I'm like, you had so much fun at the vampire ball. Yes. But listener mail, I did receive one piece of listener mail, and I would like to not only answer it, but ask you the same question.
All right.
My listener asked, Mistress Harley, if you had a wrestling gimmick, what would it be? Now, my answer to you is, you dumb motherfucker, I already have a gimmick, and it is a Mistress Harley. Diana
Oh, that's
Prince.
true. Oh, you want
Diana?
to answer it? Sorry. People ask me that all the time, and I don't even fucking know what it would be. Like,
Okay, you
Harley,
don't
help
like,
me. Give me a gimmick.
well, you don't like to be aggressive and chat a lot, so maybe like maybe like Orange Cassidy, kind of like a cool, quiet, like goth chick. Like, oh, that hot goth chick that people are too intimidated to talk to, and then you just go around the ring and kind of like, stop. No.
Can I be like
No.
happy goth though? Like pink wearing goth? That'd
Oh,
be fun.
pastel goth? You want to go
Yes,
pastel? Yes. Okay,
because I'm a nice goth that doesn't talk to people.
yes, okay. You are the unicorn that comes out with Abaddon, the yin to the
Yes.
yang. And
Oh
then
my
as
god, yes.
Abaddon comes out screaming, you come out throwing glitter.
That's my gimmick. I'll take that one. Yes.
Yes, here at Mistress Harley Co., we do create a gimmick because I believe that everyone should have a gimmick.
Well, I've now adopted that, so thank you. I'm gonna do that when I
You're
go to
welcome.
shows from now on. Throw glitter.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god, bring the glitter bomb.
I'm
Also,
going to shit.
that would be the best finishing move where you put a bunch of glitter on the mat like they do thumbtacks and then you power bomb someone into it and it's the glitter bomb. Yes.
And they're so
That's
sparkly. I love
wrestling
it.
for bitches. Yes. I always want them to incorporate more women's issues that women care about into wrestling. So, cheese platters, cupcakes, mom issues AEW's been bringing in. I love that. How dare you boo a mother is like made me laugh so hard.
Really? Because that bothers me, man. I'm like, using that? Nah, fuck off. Moms
But
deserve
that's
to get
why it's
booed too.
funny. That's why it's funny. It's exactly what a mom would say. Like,
I
you
mean,
are
that is
disrespecting
fair.
me by not
It,
eating your carrots.
it does make her unlikable, which is, good job then. Like,
Yes.
fuck off. Like, I hate you even more now. That honestly, that's when I started really just fucking booing the shit out of her. We're talking about Shania Wayne. For
Shania
anybody
Wayne.
that doesn't watch AEW, Nick Wayne's mom, the worst,
Yes.
the worst.
She is. But I find it interesting that so it's the mom character that makes the hate. The hate wells up inside you and it comes out in a boo. Who else makes you boo?
Oh my gosh. Well, Claudio does.
Claudio. You just love to hate a man who's that strong.
No, I just fucking hate a man that's much of a dipshit.
Okay, fair. Fair. You do boo him hard. I've seen
Oh,
you.
I boo him harder than anyone. I wrote Claudio sucks on my tits one time and was just like pointing, and he knows. He comes to the fucking. I usually sit on the front row, and he'll come and do like shit right in front of me because he knows I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you, Claudio."
Wow, would you say that you have a passive aggressive relationship with Claudio where you write mean things on your chest and he knows you do that and so he like does stuff outside the ring just to mock
Yes,
you?
I would say that we have a passive aggressive relationship, and I would say that it has like passed along to him. Like so many people now say "fuck you, Claudio," and to be fair, he's actually very nice, but whatever, fuck you still. But he's like, what did I do? Why so many people hate me? And his little accent, like, don't worry about
Yes.
it, Claudio. We
He's
just do.
well, because he's Swiss, and so he's from like a culture of politeness where, like, oh, but we have little army knives, and why do you hate? I
Fuck
think
you and
that
fuck your vertebrae.
yes, fuck your vertebrae. Um, I have made the wrestler Colt Cabana straight out run from me. I'm like six
What?
feet tall. He is shorter than me. And, like I know Colt, meaning that we are both Jewish. And so I know how to strike fear into a man who comes from my same background. And so all you have to do is sound like their mother. So Colt
Ooh.
Cabana!
I have heard you doing that voice at wrestling shows, man.
I did it to MJF, and not only
Yes.
did he look me right in the eye, I saw him register fear. And the old people next to us were like, I think you sound just like his mother. And I said, yes, I was going for that. Nothing makes a man shrivel up inside like the sound of his mother's voice, unless they're creepy.
That's another gimmick for you.
Well, making a man shrivel up inside is one of my specialties. And if you are concerned with those specialties, listeners, mistressharley.com. Now, Diana Prince, you are so beautiful. Tell the people where they can find you and maybe send you money on Patreon or something.
Or Twizzlers. I work for Twizzlers too. I am Diana Prince XO on Instagram. I am kinky_horror on Twitter. And if you do want to support my endeavors, I do run Joe Bob's Patreon, restoring his old footage, which is the Lost Drive-In on Patreon.
Fuck yeah, I subscribe to the Lost Drive-In, and I've gotten all kinds of incredible perks, including
Aw,
Joe Bob DVDs, a really warm long sleeve shirt that I sleep in sometimes, and
aw.
other merch that you can't wear around your friends when your friends are on the merch because it's weird.
Well, thank you for that.
No, I love the Lost Drive-In, and Diana Prince, I love you a little bit too.
Oh, I love you too, Mistress.
Yes, and listeners, fuck you, pay us.